Welcome to Sage-Based Wisdom. I'm Jana Schmieding.
And I'm Brian Bahe.
And we're podcasting to you from the sacred homelands of Madewell.
Today, we'll be giving you, our listeners, some advice cultivated indigenously from our background in skydiving.
And collecting non-rare DVDs, hard media.
But first,
we have a special guest. Make
some noise.
Yeah, make some noise.
Make some noise.
Turn
if you're
it up.
6'4" or above.
You've seen him on Spotify, iTunes, the internet.
Gold Diggers IRL.
Gold Diggers IRL, touring the country. He's a musician. He's a composer.
You've seen him on the sidewalk when his car broke down.
You've seen him in Arizona, in Phoenix, when his car broke down.
One of my lesser known ones.
You've seen him on Reservation Dogs. Give it up for musician Mato Wayuhi, Lakota brother.
Thank you for having me.
I've never seen you do that.
I don't think I ever have.
Yeah, I don't think you have.
I have imposter syndrome when it comes to lilili.
You should, because you're hoping.
Sandwich in betwixt
Yeah,
two
exactly.
strong
Right.
Lakotas.
What are you even
I
doing?
felt empowered, yeah.
It's like how I feel when I see people who are like, sort of like just random indigenous people. Indigenous meaning like, who knows,
Yeah.
you know, where they're from. Like maybe sort of a very sacred past of indigeneity, and they're wearing like ribbon skirts and stuff. I'm kind of like, oh, we're all just doing it now.
We're all just doing it.
We're all just lilying. We're out here we're fucking shaking rattles. We're just doing everything.
You better keep me in check though, because I might get a little bit too.
You know I'm not going to. I want you to fly off the fucking handle, bro.
I'm gonna be out here leeing at.
As a man, I think.
Okay, wow, secrets out.
Here we go. 6'4".
It's giving he him.
I give you. I mean, as a Lakota man, maybe full permit. Let that freak flag fly.
Wow.
Definitely let that.
Ooh, yes.
Lily it out.
Thank
You
you.
We
definitely need to
are
do that.
like probably one of the more problematic nations.
Right. Exactly. So
So we embrace all, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
it's really.
we didn't necessarily adopt Johnny Depp, but we sort of adopted Kevin Costner. So
Right. Yeah.
Yikes.
I think the analogy for like Lakotas is the screen door is closed, but it's not really closed. Like the door is open.
It's
the
like
door is ajar. Yeah, the screen door.
The
It doesn't
screen door's
close.
closed, but it's
Yeah.
ripped. The actual screen is ripped, so you could just sort of go in
Yeah,
and reach up.
it's
and
really
latch
just
it,
whoever wants to come in.
And I'm in.
There you
I'm
go.
in now.
yeah. One Lily, and he's fucking.
Me and Kevin, yeah, we're fully out here, war painted up.
Oh my god. We have so much to talk about with you, Mato. Thank you so much for being on the pod. You're in town because you were doing a show last night at Gold Diggers.
Yes.
Did you find any gold?
Not really. Within my heart, I did, but not physicalized. No, because we have a weird relationship with gold.
Yes, we do, especially in California here.
Right, exactly.
Right.
I felt like the show was very impressive. Both you and Tia Wood, who was, I guess, headlining the show. I had never seen her live. I have seen you live before.
I loved it. It was my first time seeing you. I was blown away.
Yeah.
You kind of commanded the stage in a way that I was like, this is what we need.
Thank you. I
This
appreciate
is
that.
what we need. Oh my God. We kind of like I feel like we're in so many genres of entertainment. We are like really good. Like Native people are like getting really fucking good at what we do.
Right.
Not to say that we didn't, I mean, we're always good, but like, you know, you start as an artist, you start somewhere and you improve.
Yeah.
The more you do it, you improve.
Yeah, I think it's like you can't rest on the laurels of indigeneity. You still have to like
True.
pop the fuck out. You know what I
That's
mean?
the t-shirt.
Yeah.
That is the actual tee and the t-shirt, because I do feel like a lot of Native people are out here. Sorry to shade.
No,
but
this needs to be
It's
said.
time.
It's
This
time,
needs to be
okay,
said.
bitch. Sometimes I gotta lay down the truth. Some of you people, my people, some of my people
Our people
are out here sort of skating off of the identity
Yeah.
and not really putting in the work.
Mm-hmm.
So you can really tell when somebody's put in the work. And I feel like you, for many years now, you have been doing so many different projects around your music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you composed all 3 seasons of Res Dogs, which is
Yep.
fucking awesome.
That's wild.
Yeah, it was nuts. I saw a lot of your face, which was very fun. And it was crazy too, because like I like met all of the Res Dogs folks like through the screen, like viewers did, but I spent so much time with them. And then so meeting y'all in person, I was starstruck. And you know, Sterling would like put crew members in the show. So but I went to set and the crew members were on crew, and I was like, wait, you have actors doing like crew stuff? Like, why is the guy doing lights right now? Yeah, it was very discombobulating.
Totally.
But
What chord would you associate with Jana? What key?
Definitely.
What key?
Oh, what is the Love on the Spectrum? Tyler, it's giving Tyler. It's giving Tyler on the spectrum.
That's.
Oh my God.
I don't. That's a great question. I don't know. I haven't thought much on it. Maybe E major.
Ooh.
Yeah, I like E major.
Sounds scintillating.
I couldn't tell you what it sounds like. I am no Tyler, but I'll take it.
Neither could I, honestly.
I love a
I can't
major.
read music at all.
I do
but
love a major. I'm glad you didn't say E minor because that's sort of giving like doom and gloom.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
a
I
minor.
feel you.
Yeah, you want a major for sure.
Yeah. You want
Yeah.
sort of like
A sharp even. Sharp cheddar.
sharp,
Yeah.
off key is what it should be. Be higher than the actual note, just by a hair. Mato. Oh, that's my neighbor going into her apartment.
Hey, neighbor.
There they are again.
We have squeaky
Little bit
doors
of
in
a
this
creak.
building, guys. We're gonna get some advice today. You're gonna give out advice.
Okay,
so
word.
you're gonna have to speak from a place of authority.
Let's for the people unfamiliar. You're from Oklahoma. No. Okay.
Brian doesn't know how to read into a joke. He
Right,
also
right.
thought all of your jokes last night about being a straight person were like earnest
Oh, really?
declarations of being straight.
I was like, okay, go off.
I live in your truth.
I mean, famously, I love to go off about my straightness. Hetero queen.
HQ.
I did fuck around with chicks when I was a kid, though.
Yeah, I was like really implored to explore what it would be like to be wearing that, what I was wearing for
Midriff,
those who weren't there. Yeah,
sort of
there was
Right.
a lot of belly showing.
It
and
was
everything.
crop top.
Crop top.
It
yeah.
was giving deep crop top.
Yeah, crop top in the Calvin Kleins and the big boots, and I was like, I really want to go up there and just see how people react to me saying like, you know, Happy Pride for you all. Like I'm super straight on that. It's totally fine. It's totally, and yeah, I think a big thing for me when I'm on stage is to like break the fourth wall as quick as possible to let especially because like I don't do a lot of opening stuff anymore. So for last night to do it for T, I was like, okay, I need this crowd to like really be relaxed and have fun, you know? And so part of that to me is always like, yeah, teasing them incessantly and just like making them feel
Yeah, you do kind of you're sort of doing crowd work a little bit.
yeah,
up there.
Yeah.
yeah, I try to. One of the best compliments I've ever gotten, honestly, a couple years ago, it was another LA show, and someone came up to me after the show, and they said, "I've never seen someone like blend comedy and music so well."
Whoa.
And I was really honored because like I love comedy. I grew up on it and like everything. So it's like the fact that yeah, people feel that way leaving, you know, they feel entertained on all sides of it, you know, of like laughing and emotional stuff and kind of ebbs and flows of it
yeah.
all. So
You're kind of a comedian's worst nightmare in a way.
why?
Because
You're attractive, you're funny.
you're funny, but also I feel like when comedians are like, I feel like every musician is like, I can banter in between songs or whatever, but when you see it, you're kind of like, no, you can't.
Right.
But
Yeah,
you
there's a lot of
you
people
actually
who don't.
can.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, fuck.
It's giving triple
What's left
threat.
for us? Yeah.
Well, thank you, and I'm sorry.
Have you ever actually dabbled in comedy? Have you ever considered giving it the old college try? Just getting up there and writing some jokes and telling them?
I am a ghostwriter for a stand-up comic.
You are?
And I don't know if he knows that, but I've deemed myself as a ghostwriter for my buddy Josh Fournier. He's a Navajo.
I know Josh.
Yeah, Josh.
Yeah.
He's really funny, and so I just text him little ideas here and there.
Whoa!
And there was one time where this was recent. I was in Albuquerque, and he was doing a show, and he was closing, and there was a white woman who went on before him, and she was great. She
Tough act to follow.
Yeah,
white woman.
You know, it's always tough. And so, but she did something that on stage that was just very confusing, and it was like doing this dance, and the bit was just dying, and it was just awkward. But she was really, really like fervent about this like thrusting, and I went up to him after, or like before.
I'm having chills thinking about this.
It was not cute,
I
and
don't
so.
like it.
And and so I go up to Josh like before. I was like, you got to say something about like that's what we saw on like the Mayflower or something like that. Like that's what we saw, the thrusting.
Ooh, yeah,
and I was like,
yeah.
just try like do something like that. Just try it. And so he went up and it didn't like kill, but it was like it was really cool. I was like, I like that. I think I'm comfortable doing that for people. I don't know. I don't want to necessarily go up and like do that thing, but like I do. I like that feeling a lot. It was really fun.
Is it because you're afraid that it won't go well?
I think it's more like I don't know. I think it's more the idea. So like scoring, I guess. You know,
Yeah.
it's like I do my own music, but then with composing and stuff, it's like I'm whatever contributes to like the narrative, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah.
whatever services that. And so for me in that regard, it's like I don't want to necessarily like make the time or like take because it takes so much effort to do what y'all do. Like it's like a whole journey. It's like a life's journey to get on stage
thank
and do that.
you.
Yeah, for real. And like
Yeah,
so
so
I'm-
much so that I don't like doing it.
and I don't
I actually kind of don't.
and I don't want to do it, but I do.
Yeah.
I do love writing, and I do love like the little bits and stuff like
Yeah,
that. You know
yeah,
what I
for
mean?
sure.
Yeah, and I love the observation of it. I think that's what I like. I'm most keen to is like even last night, like reading the room and understanding. Okay, what's funny right now? They're always afraid to come to the stage. So you always have to
It
call
was
that out.
so funny when you tried to
Oh my god!
dab somebody up and they didn't respond, and then you called it out.
Yeah, no, it's the best. You had like that's what I love. Like someone said, it, someone like screamed like "Play Blossom," and I just went, "No, I'm not." They're like, yeah, it just you gotta because then people can laugh and they can and that's not it's nice. It's disarming for them too of like because you go to a comedy show and you're expected to laugh, and I think that's what also creates the like anxiety of it all too of like for maybe the comic, but like for last night they're not expecting to laugh. So then if you can catch them off guard and get them to laugh, and then they can let the hair down and have fun, you know. And then for Tia, it's just a much better show because everyone's like into it and relaxed and they're ready, you know.
Yeah, and she didn't do as from what I saw, she didn't do as much crowd stuff, which is like what a nice sort of like a differentiation. So we get this like we have a musician who's like vibing with us and like very, very present with us, and then she gets to just sort of like be in her own world and like put on a real like not that yours wasn't like a performance, but hers is just like this vocal powerhouse that she can sort of just have her own moment like with the audience, but you know, giving it to us as opposed to being with us.
Yeah.
For sure.
But I like the with vibe too.
Yeah,
It's both. Both of them are great. So anyway, you had a great show last night.
Thank you.
Did you go out afterward?
I went out with a few friends just to get food though. I'm not a big like type of girl, and so it was really just food was the main like initiative. So we went in the In-N-Out line, and
You also went to In-N-Out.
yeah, because
What?
they suggested it, and I was like, okay. I don't love In-N-Out. I think it's good. It's not like
also don't
you know.
Same.
Yeah, it's not something to like you know like schedule to.
Yeah.
It's just
Right.
not. Yeah. So then we get there, and then I'm like as a man. Sorry, I've been saying that a lot.
As a
recently.
man.
As a man.
It's a no.
Yeah, but I was like, I don't think we should go here. But I was like spontaneity, so we found a new spot that none of us had ever been to.
Which
we
was
went there.
what?
I honestly forgot the name of it.
Who knows?
What type of food?
It was pizza, like American stuff like that. It was good. It was good. They had gluten free because we had a gluten freer with us,
For sure.
and so
Okay.
we had that, and we just talked. And it was really fun. It was good because, yeah, every time I'm here, I get to catch up with like old friends, you know,
Yeah.
which is always nice. So yeah.
So if you're not from Oklahoma,
Where are you?
Where the fuck
yeah.
are you from?
where doth thou hail from?
Doth hails from Dakota del Sur. I don't know why I switched to Spanish, but I'm from
A
South Dakota.
very Spanish-speaking
Dakota.
state.
Oh,
Yeah,
cool.
super Spanish.
Okay,
yeah,
cool.
Yeah.
That was gonna be my second guess.
Yeah, there you go. But yeah, I grew up there. I grew up in South Dakota. I grew up, so I'm Oglala, Lakota, so all my folks are in Pine Ridge. And then I grew up in Sioux Falls, which is like across the state.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of a little bit about me.
That's what's
Nice.
Yep. And then
Okay.
I moved out here for school. I went to USC. And so, yeah, I was out.
Trojan.
Yep. Oh my God, I got in such a, not real fight, but like banter with someone last night because they were UCLA and Bruins, Trojans, you know, they don't like each other, whatever.
Civil War.
Yeah, exactly. And so they were like, oh yeah, I'm going to UCLA for law school. I was like, oh cool. Like I went to USC, and they're like, oh, like Bears beat Trojans, and I was like, no, they don't. And then we got in this fight, and I was like, I would rather have a Trojan than a bear. Like, and what is a bear going to do to prevent STDs? Da 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 da. And I was like, Trojans prevent childbirth, and I just started going into like condom shit, and yeah, it was pretty great. Not that I don't know if I feel that way, but in the moment, I definitely took that argumentative stance. I'd rather.
I absolutely feel that way about my alma mater.
I don't care about my alma mater.
Yeah, but
No, I get it.
you know what? Your alma mater doesn't care about you. man.
Wait, speaking of alma mater, Jana is going to be speaker
That's right.
at her alma mater.
I
No
am
way.
the commencement
Commencement.
speaker
Oh my
at the
God.
University of Oregon
That's
next week.
huge.
Congratulations! Oh my God.
I'm gonna give him something funny. I'm gonna give him something pretty real.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Ducks, right?
ducks.
Wow,
quack,
that's so exciting.
Quack.
What so how long is the speech?
It has to be 10 minutes long.
Okay.
and yeah, I've sort of been toying with a few different ideas. My first idea was to be like here, sort of like, hey kids.
Wow.
Hey kids. Okay.
Hey kids, mom's
I did have
here.
this. Yeah. Hey kids. I did have this idea last night, really late. I couldn't fall asleep because I had one shot of alcohol. I had one shot of alcohol at your show, and I couldn't fucking sleep.
Whoa.
Jeez.
One shot of very nice vodka, and I couldn't fall asleep. My body doesn't want the booze anymore, guys. But then I had this brilliant idea that what if I, instead of giving a speech, sort of walk out and holding a bunch of paper, like I'm going to give this big long speech, and then I trip on stage, and the paper goes everywhere, and I pick it up, and I go, oh, hi. And I have a meet cute
Okay.
with
With-
the students, the graduating class
Of 2025.
Like, I was just going to give a speech at graduation.
Cra-
It's nothing.
Crazy to meet you here.
Crazy to meet you. You guys are here too. Whoa. You know?
That's fun.
I
Yeah,
like
that's
that.
fun.
That's hot. I
Yeah,
think, I think that
right?
would catch everyone off guard.
Yeah, and they'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Who is this also, is what they're going to be asking. But
I think
don't care.
you'd rather elicit confusion than inspiration in a time like that. You know what I mean?
I agree. They're already so confused about the world. Ramp it up.
Yeah, exactly. Just go. Yeah, exactly. That's so true.
Ramp
Oh my
it
God.
up.
That's so real.
Yeah, so that's a fun thing. Also, top headline of this podcast is Brian and I shot a pilot last week in Portland, Oregon.
Can we say that?
Yeah, it was on deadline,
Oh, okay.
but yours hasn't come out yet.
right.
But it will.
Okay.
Don't worry.
We did.
We did. Brian got cast in the pilot, and
As a mummy.
as a mummy at the All Nations Community Center. But it's going to be a great pilot. Here's to hoping it gets picked up. Everybody go onto the internet and tell NBC, we want this show.
Bully NBC.
Bully them.
Everyone.
Call them.
Dr. NBC. Dear Dr. NBC.
Hope this
need to
finds you
pick up-
well.
Please pick up this untitled pilot.
I have
that
a-
still doesn't have a title.
I have such a weird through line in y'all's show because I was on a flight recently and I'm on a flight, I'm very bitchy. Like I have my little things in, and like I don't like to talk. You know, I'm just kind of in my zone. But if someone,
classic gay,
right? Yes. And so someone says hi, I'm like hi, and then I break. But until that happens, I'm very, very stoic. You know what I mean? The ancestrally stoic.
Yes.
And so
as we are, Lakota.
Right.
as ancestors were when they traveled.
Right, exactly. All three of us. Strong Lakota. And so I'm on this flight and I'm sitting next. There's a lot of white women stories in my life. I don't know why. But it was another older white woman. She was next to me. And she's on her phone and she's moving at a pace that's pretty, geriatric, let's just say. And I'm on my phone and I see her like press a FaceTime thing, but her camera's not on. But I see the other person's face. And it's Wes Studi. Yeah, it's Wes Studi. And I'm like, girl, what the hell?
What?
And then I'm like, I glance for a second, but I didn't know if it was him or not. And then she's like pokes me and is like, can you show me how to turn my camera on? And I was like, yeah. So I just take it from her and I turn the camera on, but it's on my face. And I'm like, hey. And he was like, what the hell? What are you doing?
Carolyn, you've changed.
Yeah, exactly. And he was like, what's up? How are you doing? I was like, good. Cause like I played him in Res Dogs. And so, and we've since, I've seen him since, but yeah, it was such a weird, and he was in Portland shooting.
That's crazy. Wait, who was the woman? Did you ever find out?
Yeah, I got her name. Again, I forget. I have her contact info.
Do you know
now.
who she was to him?
Yeah, so they were like bestie boos back in the day, in the 90s. She had this visual. She's like, I was with him when he was awaiting to find out if he got Dances with Wolves. And they were in Santa Fe, kikiing, just hanging out, and she'd be like, yeah, he would be out in the yard, like making pipes and things like that. And like, I was like, oh my god, imagine a young Wes just like sweaty and making.
He's a fascinating character. I didn't want to like overburden him with like too much like questions, but like I did try to
talk him up
a little bit, and he's so cool.
He's so cool.
Yeah, he's the best. I worked with Graham on Sterling's new show, The Lowdown, and he plays my grandpa in that show, which is pretty nuts.
Graham does?
Yeah. And so, and getting his insight on stuff was so fascinating. Those old the legends.
Fuck.
It's so wild.
I remember on Rutherford sitting down with Michael Gray Eyes and Geraldine Keems, who on Rutherford plays my ex's mom, and on Res Dogs plays Devry's grandma, who passes away. And the two of them were talking with each other, and I was just sort of listening about what was it like when Chief George, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking butcher the name.
Jean Baptiste.
Pope Chief Jean Baptiste. There's a very famous Native man who was in Hollywood, but they just like they just have so much history about what it is been like to be a Native person in Hollywood, and the way that they have been treated, the way that they have like influenced productions, just like the amount of knowledge and like the stories that they have are so incredible. And also the way that they've navigated, we always say like, oh, we're standing on the shoulders of giants, or like our ancestors, or like our elders have paved the way, but like legit this generation of performers, one of the things that Michael Gray Eyes told me doing Rutherford Falls was he was saying, I don't have to teach anybody on this production about what my lines should be, or how I should be, or how I should be dressing, or how I should be like portrayed. Like I don't have to do any unpaid consulting along with being a performer. Like for the first time ever, I'm actually like just enjoying being only an actor. I don't have to do any other labor beyond my job, which is to be a performer.
Yeah.
And you think about like all of these people who were probably paid less than their white counterparts. I'm sure that is the case on fucking Dances with Wolves. when the very interesting part about Dances with Wolves are the native characters. It's like they're so much more funny. They're so much more dynamic. Their storylines are so much more interesting. And they probably had to do so much consulting. Not just performing.
Free labor.
Free labor.
Mm-hmm.
Constantly.
And that's why I have not seen it.
Ooh.
Yeah, in retaliation. It's so ubiquitous in South Dakota.
It
it's
is.
like it's so there.
Because Kevin Costner also like bought a bunch of land.
Yeah,
out
he
there.
made it. Yeah, he made it.
And-
It's like his baby girl
Yeah.
is South Dakota.
Yeah.
And so but yeah, we didn't watch it growing up because we were just like,
I think I did watch it actually.
I think you should. You should.
I think you should. I think you should. And here's what I have to say about Dances with Wolves. It's corny as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But you get to see Kevin Costner's bare ass. Not too bad.
Yeah, yeah.
A young Kevin Costner, a younger Kevin
I'm on
Costner,
board.
and I think he tries to show his bare ass a lot in movies actually. But you
Happy Pride to him.
I
You
like that you
also-
said try, and in my mind, I like imagine the director's like, "Hey, this time don't."
Yeah, he's like, and this is take 4.
No, cut.
Yeah, Kevin. There is a sex scene between Tantu and Graham Greene, and
I think I remember this.
it is
Damn.
nasty.
I
It's
think I
not.
remember this.
It's nasty for reasons that I don't want to spoil it for you, Mato, because I do think you should watch it. But I will say, once you get to that scene, you're gonna be like,
Okay,
it takes
"Is
word.
that how we used to fuck? We used to fuck like that."
Right.
It
I know what
opens-
you're talking
it
about.
opens the
I
door.
actually know.
Yes,
I know because I feel like I remember watching it with my parents as a child.
Yes.
And I was just really like, they like looked over at me.
They're
Just
like,
to be like, are you looking at? I'm like, yeah, I am.
yeah.
And now I'm aware that you guys are watching me take this in.
And yes, and when I watched that as a child, I was like, oh my god, that is the way that our sex and our intimacy has been so erased. Of course it has. All of the like subcultural elements of our culture have been erased. You know, even the big cultural elements, the overarching cultural elements have been erased. So we are not in touch with like our sex culture, you know, like we make jokes all the time about like Kama Sutra and shit and like, you know, tantric massage.
Lest
But
we
like
forget.
that's like ancient culture. That's ancient cultural shit
Yeah.
from a certain region of
Sure
the world.
is.
We have ancient sex culture. We had comedy culture. We had food culture. We had like all of the same shit that we have now. We had that, and we don't know much about it. And we are a dirty, dirty people.
Yeah.
So we, you know, anyway, there's parts of Dances with Wolves that I was like, oh, you could really make some nasty ass ancestral porn.
Right.
Yeah.
Where's that porn parody?
Yeah, sort of like a lot of voyeurism basically going on. Just right out in the open.
Last.
TPOV.
Oh!
Write it down. You got
Write it down.
TPOV.
Put that in your book,
Right,
as they
exactly.
say on Dances with Wolves.
Put that in your.
Put that in your book.
Josh, write that down.
Wait, that might be something.
It's
we
so-
need
I think it is.
ancestral
That might be
porn.
something.
Oh my god.
Josh.
TPOV.
Get ready for your TPOV.
POV.
TPOV.
TPOV. Yeah.
Okay, are you ready, Mato, to listen to some advice given to us and talk about how it sucks or it rules?
Absolutely. Wait, this is advice given to you all?
This is advice from the algorithm. So this is
Oh, I see.
Jana, what's some advice you've been getting from the algorithm this week?
let's
Nice.
watch.
Good.
Good segue, Bri. You didn't even have to read it from the fucking script like you usually do.
I'm an actor.
Jana,
as-
what
I know
is
lines.
some
It was
advice that you got
As
from
natural as that Lily, honestly.
Yeah,
It was so
wow.
good.
They did not cast Brian
Available
as
to
a
be
very
cast.
awkward gay. Okay.
Imagination is extremely powerful, and your brain actually cannot tell the difference between reality and thought. And I'm going to prove it to you right now, and then I'm going to tell you why this is extremely helpful and important to remember. If it's safe, close your eyes, and I want you to
If it's safe.
imagine
And it's not for me.
Sitting in front of you on a table. You see the lemon, and I want you to pick it up and smell it, just in your imagination. Then I want you to put the lemon back on the table and take a knife and cut the lemon. Take part of the lemon and put it in your mouth. Taste the lemon. See how it tastes. Imagine how sour it is, how sweet it is. Imagine how this lemon tastes in your mouth. Now take a bite into the lemon, and you feel the citrus on your teeth, in your tongue, and your mouth is starting to water. Now you can open your eyes, but I want you to think, did you feel saliva in your mouth? Did you imagine what that lemon actually tasted like?
You can open your eyes,
Is your
right?
mouth salivating right
Felt
now?
something.
You should feel some saliva in your mouth right now. And even though there's no lemon near you, it was all in your brain. That is because your brain thinks that that was real. When you imagine something vividly, your brain reacts in the same way that it would if you were actually in that situation. A lot of athletes use this, a lot of performers, people getting through trauma, and people who are manifesting. This is why it's really important. If you are constantly imagining worst case scenarios, your body is believing that those things are actually happening to you. So if you get into a mindset where you're believing or imagining the best case scenario happening to you, your body will feel calm and more peaceful. Through doing this, you are actually rewiring your neural pathways, and you're able to move through the world in a whole new way. Try this week with something that feels really beautiful and peaceful, and you will literally be rewiring your brain. That's my tip for today. Follow along if you want more tips.
Okay. That's
Wow.
from Nicole
Scherschlinger.
Ilana.
Shout out, Nicole.
Shout out. 210.2K likes.
Major
Wow,
shouts.
74 bookmarks.
Very cool. Did your guys' mouth water when you had the lemon in there?
I mean, yeah.
Mine did a little bit.
Yeah, it's out. Yeah, I was a little wet in there.
Okay. Whoa.
I was.
Somebody sample that clip.
And now every listener is too. Sample that clip. What do you think about that, Mato?
So it reminded me of my dad was like a very, very like classic Lakota man, like long hair. I'm going to tell you something, okay? So you in these ways when we have these, and he's like really, it was great, and I loved it. I was raised on that, and so he would get in these moods sometimes, these very like motivational speaker moods, and he'd involve all of us because it was my sister and I and my mom, so we'd all be in like the living room, and he went on and pontificated about Jim Thorpe. And about how Jim Thorpe did stuff like this. Visualizing. Yeah. And I remember when he said this, I was like 6 or 7, and maybe I heard it wrong, but he said like Jim Thorpe, when in basketball practice, they'd go out and his teammates would go out and shoot 100 shots, and they go in, they wouldn't make all of them, but Jim, he didn't do that. He would lay in his bed and he would visualize making 100 shots, and then they'd go in and they went into his room and they said, Jim, how many shots did you make? He said, all of them. And I was like, what was that? I was like that. And I must have heard it wrong, but when I was 6 or 7 years old, I was like, what are you talking
He's like,
about?
Yeah.
you miss 100% of the shots you don't take, is what I'm saying.
Right, I guess so. And you if you imagine making 100% of the shots you make.
Basically ripping off Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah, it was really like, and I think, but what stuck with me, the salience of it all, I think is, visualizing, like definitely going in there. Because even with shows and stuff, I definitely do that. I don't know if y'all are the same, but like I definitely like before last night, knowing the layout of the stage is big, understanding what I'm going to wear, how I'm going to, what my intentions are and stuff like that.
That's cool.
But yeah, I liked what she said. What stuck out to me was like forecasting a negative outcome has a bodily like thing. That's really fascinating.
I thought that's like it makes me think of anxiety.
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense, because sometimes I do think the worst, but then in thinking the worst, I prepare myself for how to like overcome the worst in a way. Right. I'm in my apartment bobbing and weaving,
right
to imaginary
nothing.
scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's almost giving, if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Sure, but
That's
also,
kind of
so-
then what if happens when you succeed? Are you ready for that?
No. I don't know, maybe. I think I am.
As long as you think it. That's the whole exercise. That's so funny.
I do visualization all the time. I personally think I do not like her presentation of this because I hate most front-facing TikTok videos that are inspirational.
Yeah. I will say it was very, I mean, like the message is great, but this is a lot going on. The glare
The
and the
voice.
checkerboard
I
kitchen.
love the checkerboard
It's
kitchen
nice,
floor.
but I'm distracted.
I
you
know.
what
Yeah,
I know
yeah,
what you're
yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
I think visualization, if you're an artist, I think it's good for anybody. When I was taught in high school volleyball to do visualization, visualize a ball coming to the ground and you are reaching for it and you touch the ball. Like we had to do very specific visualizations, and I learned, oh, this is something that you should do actively in theater. I have dreams of theater dreams literally once a week, especially lately. God, I have so many fucking dreams about performing. It's horrible and also interesting. But
Like forgetting your lines, shit. Like
forgetting my lines, but always improvising and being able to do a show that like is to a roarous.
Wait, so
applause.
they're like victory dreams.
They don't start as that, but
Wow.
they're not. I don't feel victorious because I'm like, fuck, I just pulled that off like by the skin of my teeth. It's not like I'm going in like so prepared and I fucking kill it. You know, it's like I'm basically by the skin of my teeth getting getting the job done.
I love that. That's kind of like a perfect dream.
It
in a
used
way.
to be actors'
Yeah.
nightmares where I would not know my lines and I was choking.
Right,
But
right,
now I feel like in my dream life, at least, I have built the ability to trust myself. Like,
That's
I
crazy.
trust myself
That's
more.
like you're like invincible in a way.
I do feel invincible in my performer life. I
Yeah.
do. I'm very, very fucking confident in that world.
That's amazing.
I have studied. I have done a lot of work toward it, but I also know that in terms of like my trajectory, getting from point A to point B to point C. Oh my god, I got pavlovas in the oven, you guys. I'm cooking pavlovas.
The rumors are true.
The rumors are true. I'm cooking pavlovas. My timer's gonna go off in a second, but
What is pavlovas?
I'll show I actually I might need you to John to just turn the timer off and then turn the oven off. Do you mind doing that? Yeah, but leave them in. They're supposed to stay in. Pavlovas are basically like kind of like a very sweet marshmallowy but like crunchy pie crust.
Whoa!
And you put fruit on it. It's crazy shit.
That sounds so good.
I'm a little bit of a baker. I don't know.
So you're like
Anyway, so-
lucid dreaming, basically.
Well, not necessarily. I'm not controlling what I'm doing, but I dream very vividly, and I force myself to envision, for example, the show in Portland. Oh yeah, push the timer button. There you go. And is the oven off?
Yes, oven is off.
Thank you. So I'm a very active dreamer, always have been, but in my waking life, I also make sure that I envision how I want things to go. So like for example, Portland, when we shot this pilot, I envisioned myself in the character doing the thing with the crew, being like on top of my lines, having a lot of energy, just being like in it, immersed in it, having a good time, and feeling what it feels like to be on set.
Yeah.
And I think that putting myself in those positions, instead of just like hoping and wishing and praying, my thing is like what white people call manifesting is just envisioning yourself in that position so that you are preparing yourself emotionally, physically, mentally for that thing. And you're also developing the image in your mind of what you want it to look like and how you want it to feel. But I also think that when we talk about like white people always talk about like vision quests and like, these like things that ancient Native Americans used to do, like going out and like having a vision quest. But I know that our people did this all the time. It wasn't like, just a rite of passage for young boys. Dreaming and understanding our dreams, interpreting our dreams, and believing in our dream life and believing in our visions and going out and having communal experiences in nature that involved envisioning what we wanted, like truly like having vision, period, is like a very important thing, I think, to being a Native person, to being also a artist.
Everything's connected.
Yes.
He's learning.
Right?
He's learning.
Yes.
Damn, jump me into
Me
Lakota.
Yeah, for real.
Boy.
You're getting so good. Oh my god. You should profit off of it now.
Yeah.
ready.
That's
the
the
next
shit
step.
right
To be
there.
a true Lakota, you have to
Yes.
exploit it and then
Yeah.
really.
Yes.
And I'm ready. I'm ready.
That's real though. That's very profound.
I actually,
So I high key like think like we should be doing this.
I tried to do, I think I like really only did it twice when we were in Portland. Of the 6 days that we were shooting, I think I woke up early enough and like had enough time that like that morning I was able to do that. And those days I could feel a difference of like,
Presence.
I was so much more present
Yeah.
and there than the other days. Even though the other days were still good, but those days in particular, I'm like, this is actually what they're talking about.
Yeah. I think as a performer, you really should get used to living in your own mind and like living in the future or living in another reality and building it, literally like world building in your mind and like being in it and experiencing it like as viscerally as you possibly can, because that's really, I mean, it's good for the imagination too.
For sure.
We might need to chop out a chunk of the middle section or the beginning section to get to this part, because this is the shit I wanted to talk about. Might be a two-parter.
We should.
Oh, fuck.
Have y'all done one yet? Have y'all done a two-parter?
Got plenty for
Or
6-parter.
Patreon.
Patreon.
Patreon. We've been thinking about doing a Patreon.
Yeah, do it.
And that
Patreon.
accent will make sense.
When
in
the pilot
4 months
comes out, yeah. When we get picked up.
A little Easter egg. Oh my god.
Should we close out? What time are we at?
hour 40.
Whoa.
That's
it is a
so
two-parter.
hot.
This is a two-parter. This is a two-parter.
We have that kind of time.
Wow. Just me smoking. Fucking
Yeah. It's entirely possible.
Okay. Before we go, Mato, do you have anything you want to plug? This will probably come out next week.
Anything to plug? New music coming soon. Yeah.
Spotify.
Apple Music, Mato Wayuhi. I'm on all the things. I have a show in Portland, June 21st.
June 21st,
I think
where?
this is
Shout
me
out.
announcing that. It's like an arts festival. I don't know.
All
I'll have
right.
to
That's
Yeah. So that'll be fun
And
doing
people
that.
can follow you online and know that.
Yes. At Mato Wayuhi. I'll be there. I do food reviews sometimes.
Oh,
for
great.
random
Actually, I love
Reviews.
those. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah. I might have to anthologize them or something, make a book. I've been thinking about that.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
A zine.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. A zine. But yeah, that's all about me. And then The Lowdown, September 23rd on FX and Hulu.
The lowdown.
Yep, you'll see me.
The next Harjo joint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been spending a lot of also to call back to the Oklahoma little misdirect. I've been spending a lot of time there.
That's why I thought you were from
Yeah, and
Shooting the lowdown.
and so I was there. One of my last days, I went to this shop. I forget what it's called, but I go in there and it's like bunch of cool T-shirts and stuff. And I clocked one when I was there a few days before. It said, "Someone in Oklahoma loves me." I was like, "That's so cute." So I was like, "I need to buy that." And so I bought it, and I'm walking out, and I see a woman, and she works on the show, and she's like, "Oh my god, you got that shirt?" And I was like, "Yeah, I really like it." And she's like, "Yeah, it's so cute. It's like a crop." And I was like, "What?" And then I put it on, and I didn't even know it was like a baby T. And so,
Whoa.
and then and I have new music coming out soon, and I've really romanticized my relationship to Oklahoma, and so that's why it was all kind of.
Yeah. You rap Oklahoma in a way.
I think I tried
Oklahoma's
to.
Indian country.
It really
Yeah.
is. It's so weird.
It's
I
so weird
fucking
and
love it.
so Indian there.
It is so. Oh my god.
So native.
But yeah.
Brian,
Jana, do you have... Do you have any...
Do you have- I did think it was gonna go into a lilili, but no,
I don't think so.
nothing coming up.
No.
I'm gonna plug, if you're in the LA area or surrounding, you should come to the LA Indian Flea Market, July 6th, Sunday, July 6th. It's gonna be fun. We're gonna do some comedy that night, and it's also just like great shit to buy.
It's a
Whoa.
cool time.
It's a cool time. I've been building up my beadwork. I'm gonna have some beadwork to sell and also clothes. Let's get into that flea life, y'all. Sustainable, ethical shopping.
Hell yeah. That's hot.
That's all the time we have.
If
We will not be issuing any refunds.
Brian, get your fucking script out. That's all the time we have today. We hope our wisdom made your life better, and if it didn't, we will not be issuing any refunds. Bam.
If you or anyone you know needs advice, has a question, or just wants to chat about something, leave us a message. There are 3 ways to do that, and you can find them in the show notes, and we'll give you our smudgiest, sagiest, solicited advice.
As always, we'd love for you to rate and review us on iTunes and subscribe to us on YouTube.
Thank you for tuning in.
Doksha.
Agone.
Dope Shaw, okay. Thank you. Much love.
Banger.